Hello friends. So in this tutorial, I am going to show you how we can do some routing like this. If I above then slash 34, it will fetch that ID and display it here in the below. So how we can do this? Coming to here, this is the about that component where it is fetching the about component.html file. This file. So in the routing, because this will come under the routing because we are typing in the URL, it will dynamically. So come to here after route.ts. Here we can do like for example, like if I pass some ID, then it will come to the about component and the children and the children and the children. Everything is fine here. Everything fine, save it, then come to the about component.ts. We have to include some of the routing files. What we should include? Definitely router we should include, and one, two, three. I've already done it here. We have to include the activated route, then router, then params. So before that, we have to pass it here inside the constructor. I have already made a test before that, so we can pass it. I'm a little bit lazy. Then we can pass it some private route, activated route. I pass it in a route variable. Then inside the router variables, I have passed it. Then inside the ng init, I subscribe the ID like this. So inside the ng init, I will explain you everything. uh, Before that, this variable is not defined, so private parent sorry, private parent node, this should be a number. Right, so now solve also, let define any. Alright, now it is gone. So if I make this, so I have to define this parent ID. Oops. Parent ID in the views. So how inside the app about that component.html file, come to here in the beginning. After this, make it as 3, then I will make it here, save it here. So now it will come a null because the default should be at this. If I type 34, it will come 34. But here you can check the default URL is, I have mentioned, if the path is blank, it will redirect to the child2 component, child2 URL. But if I type something like 78 then enter, it will 78 then child2, then it will display my 78. Then if I remove this and if I write this, that means this is the default URL, it will redirect. But again I am typing this, then this is a string, this is not a number, so it is displaying null. So if I not understand, come to home, come to click about, it will come about page not found, because I haven't set it anything, because I have mentioned the path equal to about / ID, so the path is not finding. So if I click ID, then it will redirect to child-2. Right, so let us comment this. If you have doubt here, I commented that. Let us come to home, let us click about, it is not found because the URL is not I have mentioned 45. Then it will fetch 45. Now there is no redirection at first because I have commented that. So if I type here the lengthy number, then it will also display here in this format. It will automatically convert that number into the format. Like if I remove this, then it will display directly. So in this way we can do pass some variables in the URLs. How we can do, we have to give it in the route /:ID, then in the component we have to import some services, that is activated route, router and params. This params is the ID, whatever ID we are passing here, and that ID we have to define it here. If I will write test, then here you have to come here and here you have to write test, so that it will fetch again. or else it will not fetch. So for that, id naming convention is very good, so make it id only. So in this way we can do some routing. So before that, here one more thing I want to show you. This is the route.params.subscribe. It will come under the rxjs subscriber. So every time you noticed, if I type if the ng on init means it will initialize the app.component class. So whenever the app.component.initialize it will call this function will run, and the code will be executed. So we have, every time if I am not passing the url this 45, also it will fetch this code. So because we have already subscribed this using the param id, so it is not a good idea. So every time we need to do one thing, that is, after doing ng on init, we can do some ng on destroy. This is the lifecycle loop in the angular version 2. This will do nothing, it will do fetch the record, same thing. Then this will page not found works. So that will come under this page not found works. This will come under the star component page not found component. Thanks for watching.